Streaming live with your talk show divas. Sit back and relax and enjoy. Exciting, informative, and sexy. So get ready for your talk show divas.
Hello, and thank you for watching. We are the Talk Show Divas, streaming live out of Douglasville with TV 1061 Atlanta. My name is Sarah, and I'd like to introduce to you my co-host. This is Miss Cece Allure.
Hello.
Very alluring. And this is Miss Brandi,
hey,
whom I
people.
just adore.
Thank you.
How are y'all doing?
I appreciate it. I'm fine.
It's
great. Yes, it's Sunday.
It's Sunday, and it's Super Bowl
yes,
Sunday, I'm told. I don't know anything about it.
I'm the only idiot sitting right here with an NFL hat on.
Like I said, I don't own a thing. I would have had to literally shop for, and that stuff is expensive if it has any kind of logo. But I could have asked my friend Brandi if I could borrow something, because I know she would have let me.
You know what?
I just don't watch football, so yeah. Sorry, Brandi.
And my son's only 5, so the only things he has is what I bought him so far. So he doesn't have anything with football on it either.
I bet he got Ninja Turtles, though.
Yeah, because I love the Ninja Turtles.
See what I mean? You're discriminating.
I love the Ninja Turtles. That's where I got my love of pizza.
Right. Wait, where's the wings for the game?
We don't have wings.
We don't have wings.
You don't watch football, remember? How do you know they have wings?
Because I go to the parties, honey. That doesn't mean I don't,
and that's what we do at the parties. We eat.
We eat.
We don't watch the game.
Scroll on Facebook, the Talk Show Divas.
So all of you that are scrolling with us
right
now, we're happy. Yeah. So, like we just discovered, I don't know anything about football. But what I do know about is stuff that makes me riled up and passionate.
And what is that, Sarah?
Today we're going to talk about Colin Kaepernick.
Hey! Oh, he gets you passionate, girl. He gets you riled up.
He's cute. He's adorbs. But beyond being cute, I appreciate what he's doing. I really do. And I want to... And we all know what he's doing. This is not like a new piece. Right. I'm not sharing any information with anybody that you don't know. Well, there may be a couple of things you ain't heard yet. But I just want to talk about specifically the opposition to the silent protests. And I want to first talk about what is a silent protest.
Okay, let's do that.
So many people have silently protested, and the world went nuts. We got excited. For generations, right. People have gone nuts. Mahatma Gandhi silently protested, starved himself.
Yeah.
And we respected that. And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was huge on peaceful, nonviolent, silent protests. He really put that on TV for the first time and introduced that concept to the masses, because it's a concept that works.
Exactly.
Right. Because what is the opposition? If the opposition does something to you, the peaceful, silent protester, 100% of the time, they're going to look bad, and people are going to sympathize with the protester, right. And that's what you want. That's what you want. Mm-hmm. And so what he did was he first decided to sit during the anthem. Right. Everybody knows about the kneeling, but first he decided to sit. And what you may not know is he was seen sitting at a 49ers game. But mind you, this was a preseason. Not a lot of people watch the preseason. It's not a big deal. And he was sitting for 2 weeks before it ever got noticed. And he was sitting at the suggestion of a Green Beret. This was something that this man researched. And not only that, he did not even speak about it to anybody until he was directly asked. That's the nature of a silent protest.
Right.
It speaks for itself.
Exactly. You don't have to boast and brag and try to get everybody to do it because you're showing them opposed to telling them. So yeah.
So I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot, right?
No.
This was the beginning, though. Was that the first protest that he did?
That's the first that I know of. I didn't research a whole lot about his whole career because I really wanted to stick on this, but I would love to know if he had done anything like this prior, like in college or...
Well, I guess what I'm asking is, the Green Beret that came out, I thought he came out after it was all discovered that he was already protesting, and the Green
Right.
Beret came out and gave him a suggestion
pieces
as to what he could do instead of, to at least give respect to the veterans.
What I read on this article was that the kneeling was a suggestion by the Green Beret.
Right.
And
after he had already started his protest.
Well, he'd only been sitting for a few times, so this is still all within a very short period of time.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it tells me that there was a lot to this. Mm-hmm. This was. It doesn't sound like a publicity stunt to me. It doesn't. It's not flashy. It's not showy.
He didn't advertise.
He didn't leak the information.
We're sitting down with a sign join me with the
I'm protesting people here.
It would be different, but by you just doing it makes it more solidified as far as, the real reason behind it, opposed to just being publicity. So,
and what he said is he wanted to protest specifically police brutality, the fact that there were bodies literally in the streets. And I was going to read off a list of names, but I couldn't even read it without crying, so I'm not going to read the list of names. You can Google the list of names. It's an intense thing to look at. It is.
What I appreciate is how all his peers, well, not all of them, but majority of them are really sticking behind him, supporting him. Some of them aren't taking the knee. Some of them are, but they're still letting you know that I support his decision.
And they're doing other things. I've seen teams doing arm in arm.
Right.
That's a really powerful statement.
Yeah, it really is.
And the coolest thing that I've read or seen in regards to this entire thing, I saw on Facebook, a man posted that he was talking to his daughter, who he coaches her soccer team, I believe it was, and he asked her, he said, what do you think about all of this, about Colin Kaepernick taking a knee? And her response was just beautiful. She said, well, when our friends on the field get hurt, we all take a knee. Mm-hmm. That's what you do. And it's a gesture of respect for the person who's hurt, as well as, the coach is able to see everybody else is okay. And so she said, I think America's hurting. Mm-hmm. And it's like, how can you oppose that? But so many people do. Right. And I have a theory on why people oppose this.
What's that, Sarah?
First of all, it's a problem that we as a civilization look at our military and we just go ahead and lump the whole country in with the military's agenda and we say it's righteous. What makes it automatically right and righteous?
Right. I'm confused about that. I get confused about that every time. I mean, I have total 100% respect for our veterans and our military. Yeah. I mean, I wake up every day. People don't even realize anything could happen. Anything could happen. We wake up every day by the grace of what they're doing to save our lives, to protect us. So I respect them. However, that doesn't mean I agree with everything that the military stands for, all the things that they have our soldiers out there fighting for.
Right.
I don't have to agree with those things, but I do respect the individual who is the soldier himself.
Right. And what Colin Kaepernick was doing was not an attack on soldiers, past, present, or future. It had nothing ever to do with that. What it had to do with is he was not going to show his support, which I kind of felt like we had that to not show our support for something. And so he chose not to show support for a country who blatantly allows police to kill black citizens.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I thought that was his right. And I'm sorry, I also think statistics agree with him. And I'm sorry, I think he went about it the right way.
I do. Yeah. I do too.
And so
riot.
Yeah, and so what happens is you have a whole community. I'm not going to label that community. We're just going to say there's a whole community who just would rather die than be considered a racist. Mm-hmm. And so to separate themselves, it's easy to turn this into, oh, well, you're against our military.
Right.
And this comes from a brainwashing. This comes from generation after generation after generation of patriotism without question.
Exactly.
And I think it's time to critically think. I think it's time to look at situations for what they are.
Yes.
Make your decisions, do your research, educate yourself, make your own decisions. Don't take what the government is feeding you.
Educate
Donald
yourself.
Trump, my God, who just says whatever, and he has caused physical violence to be incited by saying things out loud that people used to kind of...
Right. Yeah, he just has diarrhea of the mouth. He definitely doesn't think before he speaks. Or threats. You know?
And in this situation, I think that he should have stayed quiet. I mean, a respectable president, you have the right to your opinions, Donald Trump.
Right.
Can you keep them to your effing self sometimes? Because this is a huge issue that really, if you're not going to do anything about it to help it, you should have stayed quiet, sir.
Exactly, and it's not his issue.
It's not
his issue. And when you say something like that, you're clearly saying that it's not your issue. And I don't care what color you are, it should be your issue. Ooh, I stop myself. It should be your issue.
All mankind, so like we should have some type of empathy for the situation that is out. Because, like, anyone, it could be your brother, it could be your uncle, it could be your cousin, like, it could be anybody. So sometimes we have to put ourselves in that situation and think, like, you know, even if it isn't ourselves, it could be. You never know.
It could be one day.
The tables could turn any second. Like, you never know.
And for me, it is not just about the black community. For me, it is anybody. I don't care if you're green, yellow, orange, red. It should not be tolerated. Police brutality, the fact that these cops are pulling out their guns before they're asking any questions and shooting. They're not just pulling out their guns, they're shooting first. That should be a problem for every human, for every person. Like, that should be questioned. And if I decided that I wanted to protest especially in a peaceful way, but in whatever manner I decide that I want to protest, how dare you go against or oppose what I'm trying to, show the world.
Something that was fought for.
Exactly.
Something that was fought for. It's something that we can't do, which is what the whole situation is about. Like, it's ridiculous.
And again, to stress what you're saying, what your topic is, he did it in a peaceful way.
So appropriate.
I mean, I am just baffled. I am extremely confused.
He didn't sit there holding up a sign with some slogan, and then Donald Trump comes in and makes this statement, and like I said, he's saying things out loud as the president of this country that people usually say in private.
The free world people.
Yeah, so now all these people who do say these things in private, now they're emboldened to not only say these things publicly as well, but to act on them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where I get afraid for all of our children.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what are you going to do when your child gets beat up for religion, for race, for whatever, and they're laughing and, the president said, what did he say? Fire those bees is what he said about him at that time. But I heard him one time that he was heard saying something about cops roughing people up. And how he's seen the videos where the cop puts his hand on the head to get you in the car. He said, nah, you don't need to be that gentle with them. Be rough. Wow. They should be rougher. He said that. He said they should be rougher.
Right, coming from a man that never grew up in a society where he got roughed up.
So again, not his problem.
Exactly, it's not his problem. So how can he speak on it as far as a situation like that?
I mean, it's not in the NFL's problem either, but I appreciate the players that are deciding to take a stand and making it their problem.
Because a lot of people watch the NFL, so at the end of the day, you want to reach the masses, you got to do it to where the masses are watching.
So this might be a stupid question, but is he playing yet? What's the deal with that?
Okay, so
does anybody know?
We've already established we don't know.
We don't know. We want to know.
Okay.
We want to know.
But I hate that it is affecting this man's career. His peaceful protest.
Yes.
And he ain't beat no woman. Okay, he ain't fight no dogs.
I love that you said that because
I'm a Mike big fan though. Let's get from the South. We fight dogs down here. I'm sorry, that's what we do. But still,
I really love that you said that because when I was thinking of a topic today, I was trying to think of something football related, and you know I love to talk about things that I'm passionate about. Right. And my first thought was Ray Rice and Michael Vick, but then I was like, nope, I'm not going to do that because you fight evil with good. Right. And so I want to talk about what Colin Kaepernick is doing because he's, you know, like I like what he's doing, and he's raising money. He's currently raising money. So even though he's not playing, if he's not playing, he's still doing something. It's not quieted him. Right. And I love that too. And it should, but they so petty, so it was like, you wanted to be quiet, we're going to let you be real quiet way in the back.
I just don't understand how what he was trying to do affected his career so heavily. Yeah. Like, you know, people didn't want him to be a part of their
anytime a celebrity or anybody at that point, you know, once they start speaking out on different things, they lose endorsements, they lose everything. When you go against the norm of society, where society wants you to think, and the message that, you know, they try to get out to the masses, and when you go against that and you are such like a big person in the community, or already like have your, you know what I'm saying, stats all the way up, people are watching you, it's a problem. Mm-hmm. It's a problem. You're going to lose everything. So that's a choice that people have to make. Yeah. You know, and so just for him to risk his career on that's major.
And continue. He didn't let that shut him up, like you said. He didn't go under a rock.
He was facing when he did it, you know, so that's major props.
Yeah, like, it is. And what have we been hollering for generations? Just since I can remember as a kid, parents have cried out at every little thing that every celebrity does or sports figure does, and say, you're being a bad influence on my kid, you're being a bad influence. Then we finally get somebody who demonstrates such a powerful concept, such a powerful reason behind it, and we crucify him. And nobody is picketing the streets to get this man back. I'm sorry.
Well, they were like getting beat up and stuff and thrown in jail. So.
But you know what? Even if I didn't agree with what he was protesting about, like you said, the concept, the fact that he was able to do it, what he was doing as a whole, whether I agree with what it was about, the fact that he was doing this, that is what I want to show my children. This is what I want to show. This is what Dr. Martin Luther King fought for and died for. Yes. This is your freedom here, people. Yes, this is what you can do now. Yes. And I want them to know that you can do this and not be silenced by our president, which is one of my biggest fears, right? So the president is, you know, he's speaking out, and he's speaking out in such a negative way. To me, all he's doing is silencing the ones that may agree with what's going on. So now they don't want to say nothing. So now everyone's like, I'm not going to get involved in that. That's a problem for me, because the leader of our free world has pretty much put a Band-Aid, put tape over a lot of our mouths without even, I don't even think that was his intentions. He was just being an asshole.
Right.
Oh, I think it's all intentional. I think it's 100% intentional.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
but like at the end of the day, as talk show divas, what do we always say? So what can we do? What can we do? I think my opinion is we get our future generation, which is our children, once again, educated on the proper way to, you know, respond and to protest. Because if you're educated and you know your laws, they can't tell you anything. But if you go into these situations blind and expect someone to agree with you, they can't do it, because if they law, you know, turns up here and your law turns down there, you know, you could be missing one word and they're going to get over on you. So at the end of the day, become educated. Know your rights. Know what you can do. Know what you can't do. Especially when it comes to protesting.
That's right.
Because there's so many laws and stipulations, but it's also a lot of loopholes.
That's right.
If we can get educated, we can do more about it. If we don't know, how can we do better?
That's right.
And be fearless. Be fearless in everything that you do. Do not be afraid to tell people or speak out about what you feel, what you think, what you need, what you want. Do not be afraid of it. I mean, again, we live in a free country, people, supposedly.
Yes, supposedly.
Right.
And you can also please go on Instagram and follow Colin Kaepernick, and you can keep up with what he's doing, and you can help his voice be heard by hearing it and sharing it. I do. And so that is a wrap for us, ladies. That was a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We are the Talk Show Divas, streaming live from Douglasville, TV 1061 Atlanta. Next, we have Miss Brandi.
Hey. I said I was going to do this dance. So
Sweet as some Brandi wine.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll be back, so tune in with us.
Yes, please come back. We're going to go to some commercials. Thank you.
You're live with your talk show divas. Sit back and relax and enjoy. Exciting, informative, and sexy. So get ready for your talk show divas.
Hi, I'm Michael Collier, funniest man on the planet, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Stay tuned, because that's how they do it over here. Big time party. All right, see y'all later. Bye.
TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.